There we go. All right, here we go. Off to the races in 3, 2, 1.
Cutthroat scumbags were coming out of the woodwork and dying much-deserved deaths. Now, don't get me wrong. This was no class act group of guys like you got in here. Not at all. Now, these guys were world-class turds. And I'm sorry, but they got what they deserved. It was judgment night in that place. World-class turds.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Oh, crap. Hold on.
That was cool.
That didn't work right. There we go.
Today I learned that it's not all one file.
Nope, not one
I know,
file.
Me too.
Oh, it's never one file. Hi, hey, everybody. Welcome to a very learning episode of Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind, episode 635. I'm Scott Johnson. Joining me today, Brian. He keeps all his cool stuff hidden behind a fake poo toilet done away.
No, don't look back there. Poo.
Gross.
Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we are a Mariachi Bandero's worth of desperate desperados looking for some revenge after Netflix murders our one true love. Our left hand, no! How we skip the intros. Quick, someone point us to the nearest hot librarian for some impromptu wound repair and hot sex so we can enjoy this 1995 action crime drama set in Mexico while we open our guitar gun case that makes us do the O face. Oh yeah, I don't even miss my left hand anymore. Anywho, if you ever have the option to get the band back together by calling up your homies Campo and Quino, you know, the ones you never shut up about, well, hide the kids, hide your future wife, because I'm pretty sure those guys sure have spent the past decade figuring out how to weaponize their instrument cases and doing lunges so they can strike those uncomfortable poses of death. Honey, I'll be out in the garage working on a project. And honey, don't go into my secret shitter lair covered in shit. There's a shot in the face Tarantino in there. Randy, take my car. That's what I bought it for.
Shit. It's very well done. You've used about 14 lines that I used for a million other things in today's show, so nicely done. Also with us, Randy. He keeps all his little knives in his fancy Mexo vest, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian.
Randy.
Don't just stand there in the lavatory stall we covered in shit by loading the shit into a slingshot first and then using all of our strength to throw it at the walls and the floor and the ceiling and each other. Come on through this secret door that suddenly makes you realize this is the widest shit stall that has ever existed, and enter the room that we like to call just smells. Here in the smells room, we're going to teach you how to use the best weapons that Mexico has to offer. I'm sorry, the dumbest weapons that Mexico has to offer. And you can too, if you just reach for my 3 favorites. Number 1, knife girdle. Ooh. The genius of the standard Mexican knife girdle is that everyone can see that all they need to do is knock you down and your knife girdle will kill you for them.
Oh.
They completely forget to shoot you while scrambling to try to trip you. Number 2, sex toy spurs. I'm just kidding. No. Number 2 is guitar case rocket launcher. And you're going to want this one with the optional super ridiculously lightweight modification that allows it to be easily hoisted, but somehow magically provides no kickback. Boom. Okay, number 3, say hello to the codpiece gun.
Ooh.
You'll be racked with excitement every time you fire 50 caliber bullets from the surface of your scrotum. We call it the ball buster.
Wow. I want all 3 of these weapons stat. Well, finally, we have Brian. Use the car. That's why I bought it. Ibit.
Wait a minute, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hey, guess what, folks? Still have a cough.
Mm.
This is one that was a little tricky to do, and it sucks, but I think it's funny. So enjoy it, and you really might want the lyrics on this one.
All right.
That's
Nice switch up.
That is the thank you, and that is the most syllables I've ever tried to jam into a tiny little space.
That was a lot.
The-
It was
the
a slow
whole
start, but it was just it rolled.
Yeah, and I love how some of the words like what was it? The devil wears Prado. That made me laugh.
Yeah, had to do a little poetic
Bending.
license there.
Yeah,
Got,
exactly.
got me with the Eagles piano completely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
got
I was
me.
supposed to. Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome.
because it feels like the obvious choice, and so that's why I wanted to start with that.
Well done. As always, we're talking about the film, the 1990 film Robert Rodriguez directed called Desperado, a sequel in a trilogy that would end badly, start interestingly, and be really, really great in the middle, in my opinion. We are going to now hear from Fake Fletcher. Oh, real quick note about Fake Fletcher. So I put out a thing on the Discord so people can submit their willingness to want to read from our patrons. That starts in earnest next week. It took a little bit to get organized. So today you're going to hear what may be, depending on how active people are, maybe our final Fake Fletcher from the AI Fletcher.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know for sure, but boy howdy, did it step up to the plate for its final thing with just one quick generation. I didn't change it. I didn't tweak it. I didn't ask for anything special. Here's what it gave us.
Desperado!
Oh my God.
Former musician and gunslinger El Mariachi arrives at a small Mexican border town after being away for a long time. His past quickly catches up with him, and he soon gets entangled with the local drug kingpin Bucho and his gang. Plus a secret poo room filled with Tarantino.
Oh, fantastic. Secret poo room.
We all noticed the poo room.
Yes, hard not to notice the poo room.
Yeah, that was
We're starting to sound like a frustrated kindergarten teacher.
Well, maybe that's why we need to retire the poor thing, you know? Like,
Maybe it's a good time for you to put your toys away and
Yeah.
take a nap.
yeah. Kids, it's time for school. That thing at the beginning. What is going on, dude? Like, well, I didn't ask for that. I don't know why it does
love
that.
I love
Well,
it.
anyway, worth every penny of the $5 a month I spend for that service.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Anyway, it's Desperado. This is the movie. Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, and a whole bunch of other folks that you know. Cheech Marin shows up in this thing. There's a way bigger role than I remember for Steve Buscemi. I thought he was barely in this.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah,
It was for me. It was reversed. The Tarantino and Buscemi, how big their roles were. I thought there was a lot more Tarantino, a lot less Buscemi. But
Yeah, I also thought there was way
Opposite.
more Danny Trejo. I thought he was here through the whole thing. He gets killed off like early.
Unceremoniously in that. I mean, just see ya, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were several things where I felt like, am I watching the same movie that I saw back in the day? And I
Right,
guess
yeah.
it's just because there's not a lot to this movie, so there's not a lot to remember. You know, there's not a lot of like dialogue.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Really,
mostly action
once you-
and yeah.
If
tone.
you take away Buscemi and Tarantino,
Yeah.
you've taken away 80% of the dialogue in the movie, right?
yeah. In fact,
Buscemi's intro at the top is this
it's
movie
great.
starts off. This movie starts off so strong. I remember this movie being something I really liked, but I didn't really revisit it too often. I didn't know why, but now I remember. Starts off fantastic, ends on a whimper. Didn't care for it.
Oh, disagree.
That
Totally
part.
disagree.
I didn't
I
care for
have
the
a-
ending.
I-
Didn't care for the ending.
totally disagree.
Loved the ride.
I
Didn't care for
must
the
have liked it at the time. I must have thought Steve
Right.
Buscemi was amazing, but now I was just like, oh my god, this movie starts badly. It's like,
Really?
it's
really?
pathetic at the beginning, and then the end with the brothers in the courtyard. I feel like
Funny.
this movie has such a strong ending.
Yeah.
I feel like
Wow,
the
interesting.
battle in the middle of the street is should have been your climactic battle, and not the battle that takes place with the brother and
You're
his
my
henchman.
brother.
Oh, the Bucho business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bucho business.
How did
Who-
you not know your brother did that? And who was the guy in your dream? What
That
is
was
going on?
the dream part still doesn't make sense to me. I've seen this movie like
Yeah.
12 times and I don't know what that was to this day. Like, was that another brother? Was that him supposed to be younger? Was that
Did he not know who the
Yeah.
Bucho was? I'm assuming that's what we're saying. He didn't know who the Bucho was until the very
Yeah.
end.
Yeah,
And
well,
even then, you're like, is he the final Bucho?
well,
I don't even know anymore.
He knew he was the Bucho because earlier he
Yeah.
went to shoot him and then couldn't tell her why he couldn't shoot her, but it was because he
Yeah.
knew it was his brother. So he knew. But the whole movie is about tone and over the top ridiculousness, and it's an homage to an older
really
kind of B movie that Rodriguez and Tarantino, for that matter, used to love. And I don't know, it always worked really well for me, and I am not a fan of that third one. It's terrible, in my opinion.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Is that the sequel? Yeah.
That's the one. No, not Once Upon a Time. It's
No, that's a different one.
something in. Oh shit! What is it? It's on the tip of my face.
It's the tip of my face. That's not the right word
That's
either.
not it. What?
Is
Oh my gosh! How am I not doing this? Hold on.
there we go. Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
It is called that.
That's what I thought
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
I didn't argue.
It just sounded.
El
Oh, you know what?
El Mariachi, Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and for me, it goes Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, El Mariachi for how I enjoy them.
Oh,
And-
really? I like
and
that
how
first
do
one
we-
for its.
How do we fit in from dusk till dawn? It's a
Just
Standalone.
passes along the crotch gun to Tom
Okay.
Savini for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're not related, and they're not in the same universe as best I can tell. But
they're in the same universe, my friend.
Well,
They must be. They're
tonally they are, but I don't think there's any. I mean, there's look.
Connective
Cheech Marin's in
tissue other
both.
than the crotch gun.
Look, Cheech Marin's in both. She's in both. What's her name? Salma Hayek's in both, but they're not the same characters. They're totally different people. I don't think you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely movies that are made. You know, one feels like at the end of this thing, he gets Tarantino in there. They do their quick piss story and then shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
And then you feel like after the camera cut, they went, "So you want to do the thing together? We can do a thing together." You know, and then I feel like that's how Dusk Till Dawn probably more, came out of all that. So I don't think it's shocking that it feels sort of like these movies are the same, but I don't know. It's just the way Rodriguez makes movies. All his movies kind of feel like that until you get to Spy Kids and that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
which is to say, he is a good example of someone who becomes a better filmmaker by making movies, right? Like he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of just like flailing at first, and then with each film, right?
He seems like a guy who loves movies, can't wait
There
to
you
make
go.
them, will scrape
There you
together $50 to make that first movie, which was El Mariachi. He became an indie star from that because he took
Yes.
very little and made something kind of rad. And then now he's got a little money. And yeah, it builds from there. It does feel like this is a guy who just pure passion wants to make movies, and so he
And I
makes
think
them.
you can say that about a lot of folks. Kevin Smith is a similar kind of thing, right?
Right.
Really loved movies, funded that first thing, but used it as a learning experience to learn how to make movies, basically.
yeah,
And his directing has gotten better and better and better over the years.
I agree, although there's some real bummers in here, like
Gigli? Or you mean for Robert Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, yeah. Like Rodriguez did what, like
I kind of like those Spy Kids movies, by the way. At least
Oh,
the
I do
first
too.
one.
hate
Yeah.
them, can't stand them. I don't
But
know
the
what
Lava
it is.
Yeah, they're
Girl
fine.
and for Shark Boy and that sort of thing, I could probably live without.
That's all fine. I mean, it wasn't directed at us. I mean, so it's fine. But you know,
Sure.
yeah.
No,
I
and
love the
yeah.
El Rey Network. That was you ever seen the El Rey Network? Kind of usually can find it on
Mhm.
like Roku or something like that. And it's kind of like Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino makes movies. Not only does he make movies, loves movies, and he loves international movies. Anything that's kind of got like a an indie vibe to it. So he's managed to bring in a lot of movies that we might not have been familiar with. And in same thing here with Robert Rodriguez. He brings in movies from international levels and exposes them in the U.S. market. And the El Rey Network was a fun place to do that.
still
check
a
it out.
thing, isn't it? It's still a cable network.
I'm not sure how active it is being. I think it kind of fell into the we need another channel to put on our streaming service that's bundled in with TVs. And so I think it's kind of there, but I think a lot of us just regurgitated. At one point in time, it was being really well developed and managed, and you would see director interviews that were current. But now it seems like it's just rehash of the same stuff. I just don't think it's growing necessarily.
So I found the deal here. It says the El Rey Network, Spanish for the King, is a media network founded by Robert Rodriguez. We knew about all that. And that was in
Yes.
2013 when it started. Until the 31st of December 2020, It was a cable and satellite network operated and distributed. I don't care about that. It was all dedicated to Grindhouse content. So it looks like now it is still.
It still exists, but it's
thing.
more like they just keep, they just keep running it. It's like, oh, we've got this amount of content, we made this many agreements, and we have this content. We'll put it on your bundled TV streaming service, Roku, Samsung, whatever you got, and you can watch it there.
So now it's you're right. It's permanently on Roku as a channel. There is how they do it.
Yeah.
So.
And I enjoy it. If you've never went through. They got the luchador type of wrestling and things that are fun. That was their own original programming for a while.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. But I've seen a lot of really cool movies. Now I'm a huge Robert Rodriguez fan, so hearing me say that I don't think Desperado has the shine for me that it used to. It's not a dig. It's
a
just
slight against him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just 28 years has gone by, and we've seen so many things that are like really good the last 20 years, especially the last decade.
Yeah.
There's just been it's so much easier now for people who have a really good idea to make a good movie.
Yeah. Just basically Spanish, John Wick in some ways. And John Wick.
All that
is,
said,
one of my notes was One Wick.
One Wick. Oh my
that is
gosh,
hilarious.
dude! Freaking holy crap! That's amazing.
Love it.
I love that.
Now I'll tell you, if Desperado is on TV, I'm leaving it on. The moment to moment of Desperado is amazing. I just don't know if I want to sit and stare at it like I did.
And it's a beautiful film too. I mean, it's
film.
it's
With beautiful people.
With beautiful people, but it's like the fight scenes are almost shot like a ballet at times. Like the stuff that happens in the bar, the second big bar fight, I think is just so well done, well choreographed.
And like I said, like I'm 12, 15 viewings into this thing over time since it came out. Saw it in theaters and then a bunch of times later. And this is the first time where, speaking of that bar scene and others, where I didn't appreciate Antonio Banderas for his physicality back then.
Yeah.
He's really good. I mean, he's there. Some of it's kind of dumb. Like he's literally flinging bullets at people in that bar.
Yeah, he does. He does it doesn't always happen, but he slings the gun.
Yeah, he's like
throwing the bullets out of the gun.
Yeah, like he's almost chucking them out of there, which I remember at the time, and I remember thinking, oh, that's unique. But when he lands on the car in one of the street fights, he lands in a position that is all scawampus, his legs like way over here. But I look at it now and I just go, that's like, it's almost like ballet, this dude.
Yeah.
Like he's crazy good in this. And I don't know, I undersold that back in the day and was more into the flashy slow motion and the whatever. But I think I appreciate this movie more now as an Antonio Banderas movie than I did ever in those other viewings.
Yeah.
Well, and this is maybe just how they were directed, but I feel like Antonio Banderas's energy makes Joaquim de Almeida a little bit like flat and sedate.
Yeah,
and
which is a weird thing to say about him, right? Because he's usually
because he's so charismatic.
Yeah,
like this guy is just like if you don't have Antonio Banderas in this movie, you have the most charismatic thing for Joaquim de Almeida, but he's not called upon to jump around. And whereas apparently Antonio Banderas will just throw himself around, like like even if it doesn't make sense, he like when he sits down in a chair, he throws himself down.
Yes, exactly. It's a whole production. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. That was almost Raul Julia, by the way. We were talking about Street Fighter before this, and this was a time where he was very ill. So he had to bow out, but that was supposed to be Raul Julia in the role of Bucho.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That could have been great because his final role was Street Fighter the year before.
Yeah.
How better would it have been had Raul Julia ended on like an evil drug cartel lord?
Yeah.
Then that would have been great. He would have eaten that scenery up. But I like that other guy a lot, so I'm not complaining. But
man,
yeah.
I was so dumbfounded by the whole time. I was having trouble focusing because I'm like, God, Antonio Banderas is so young here. Selma Hayek. Oh my God, she's so freaking young. And even Danny Trejo, I'm like, I don't ever remember him having that full of hair. It was just
Yeah.
poof on
Right.
top of his head. I was like, holy Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's Steve Buscemi. Look like a little fresh spring child in this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only, in
But
fact,
it's
even Cheech Marin looked young, and he was already old in this.
Yeah.
Like,
But I guess,
what the hell?
time happens to all of us. And Selma Hayek, man, she was still at a place where she looked, instead of being, she gets kind of more buff, I guess, later on. She didn't like she worked out. She just showed up and was just gorgeous.
Just
as
beautiful
Selma
from
Hayek.
day one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the
And,
movie where everybody went. I don't think it's unfair to say it's kind of her discovery movie, right? This is like the big one.
Yeah, that was
Because prior to this, it
first
was a
time
lot
I've seen her.
of smaller Mexican productions. This was definitely a big breakthrough role for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think deservedly so. She's very good in it.
Yeah.
She's also strong in it. I like that she's not just a maiden in distress,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
I
really great.
love that she's a sexy librarian. She just didn't have any glasses.
Right.
I
Yeah,
was the
that's
only
true.
thing I was disappointed in. I was like, "Where's the glasses? We got to have the pinned up hair, and then you got to let it down." No, all right, we're gonna miss that.
That would have
trope.
been too much for me. Wouldn't have
much,
been able to
too much.
concentrate on the rest of the film.
We did get the trope of where the money was hidden, so that was fun.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that
That's
was
always
good.
a fun trope. I like that
It's
one.
in the books.
There's speaking of the money that was spent. So the scenes with Buscemi and Marin had to be shot quickly. So they were early and quick. They had to do them all in like 6 days because they only could afford Buscemi for 7 full days and Cheech for 6 total.
It's
It's
great.
expensive Buscemi or Buscemi. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's just Buscemi.
Is it?
Buscemi, it's probably.
I always said
it's-
Buscemi. I can't.
I
help it.
always said Buscemi back in the day, so I'll probably
I did
always.
too.
say like
When
that
I was
first.
looking up because I was going to do a whole verse about Steve Buscemi, and then I looked at his Wikipedia page, and one of the first, like it's in his intro thing, it says pronounced Buscemi.
Oh, they didn't
Yeah,
consult with me in my memory, and now it'll
Right, I
just
know.
forever be.
None of ours, yeah. Because I think the author, the artist that that we all know from Spider-Man in the day was John Buscemi.
Oh,
Right.
oh,
The classic
right,
Spider-Man artist was Buscemi, spelled the same way.
right, and it was definitely
right.
pronounced Buscemi, right?
Yeah.
That
Well,
that guy.
Now I'm questioning that too.
Yeah,
now.
now maybe we're getting that wrong this whole time.
Or Bushima. I'm sorry, not Buscemi, but Bushima.
Bushima. But it was still Bushi, like she, not C.
I'm looking that up now too.
This is making my head hurt. While y'all are doing that, I'm going to talk about Mike Morris.
Oh,
who played
Buscema.
Elma-
Dang it. It's
It's
Buscema in it
Buscema
as well.
The whole time
John
it was
Buscema.
Buscema.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it,
Buscema.
dude.
John Buscema.
All right. That's fine.
Well,
Go ahead.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
fine.
John Sheena. God, I've been pronouncing his name wrong this whole time
Oh,
too.
I thought it was Cena this whole time.
Yeah, I know. Wow,
Weird.
crazy.
All
On
right.
Sheena. Great.
I love it.
Yeah, and Sheena
No.
is actually the
It's
warrior
Cena,
princess
yeah,
Cena.
exactly.
So, geez, what
Right.
are you gonna do? Anyway,
I'll tell
Dunaway.
you who I
Wait,
couldn't stop staring at was Mike Morris. He was like the one who just everybody backed up and he shot him. He was in the group of guys.
oh,
You know what I'm
the
talking
American dude.
Yeah.
about? Yeah,
Oh,
he kind
the-
of looks
the-
he looks more American than the rest, right? The
Mike
cowboy.
Lindell looking,
Yeah,
the My
Mike-
Pillow guy a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
His name
Dr.
is
Phil.
His name is Shrug, and that's all he does the whole time. He just keeps going. I don't know. I don't know. And every time he was on screen, he was just. I'm like, is he in a different movie? I can't stop looking at this guy.
Now we love this
Yeah.
dude. RoboCop, Desperado, La Bamba, From
Yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn. He's in all kinds of cool shit. He stopped making movies in 2008. I don't know what happened there, but he was in so many cool.
He'd already peaked.
Man Apart. Remember Man Apart? That was cool.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I
cool.
want to sack that. Love that movie.
A Candyman movie, Candyman Day of the Dead. Anyway, we can sack it, Randy. We have the power. We can sack
Yeah,
it.
we have the
Have.
technology. Well, as
We
long
can
as the
build it.
streaming gets along
Exactly.
with us.
That's the thing. Like so many movies like this, like Desperado,
Yeah.
they just linger in limbo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm really happy this is on Netflix for us because like I'm sure it's been on our list for
Yeah.
10 years.
This movie cost approximately $7 million to make, which is actually pretty low still.
Way low.
Even then, and 1,000 times the amount of money Rodriguez spent to make El Mariachi in '92. So I didn't do the math, but that's a considerable jump in what you paid. And one of the Mariachi brothers in this thing, with the over-the-shoulder thing and all that, the last one to die, was the actor who played the character in the first movie. That's that guy.
Okay, I was wondering because they don't ever speak; they just
Just
fire
up.
their funny weapons. But
I hated it. I hated it this time around. I think
the
I loved it back in the
guitar
day.
case with the rocket
hated
launcher
it.
in there.
I'm like, why did they have to have guitar cases? Why couldn't they have done anything different? And then loading them like with an arm jerk.
Yes.
Because all I could think of at that point in time, I was like, where are these guys from? Are they single? They don't seem single. They seem like they're probably husbands somewhere working on this workshop and this shit out in their garage, just waiting for the day they can go out, and use this shit.
All right, so this is the James Bond Q trope, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And there's an interesting thing where if you talk to different people who are watching movies, some of them love it and want it everywhere, and then some of them are like, no, it has to be in a specific thing like a James Bond movie. You can't just come along with with crazy weapons. And it doesn't. This movie didn't earn that.
That's also a thing of the past a little bit, right? The new James Bond movies, they're much more subtle gadgets. They don't suddenly whip out a guitar and have it shoot a missile out of it.
Pay attention, James.
Yeah. So I think Randy's
Dunaway,
right.
It sounds like Dunaway doesn't think the movie really earned the humor involved in a guitar case rocket launcher.
They did not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then it fell flat because we had this bond that was happening between Banderas and the kid with the guitar, the kid-tar, as I call him,
Kid-tar,
and the kid-tar, and so they were having this bond moment, and then he gets hits randomly off screen, and then we wrap the whole thing up with Banderas kind of sitting by his bedside, and I'm like, it fell flat. It just went.
It was just a little quick. I remember it being a little bit more meaningful back in the day, but I think that sort of thing's been done better since, and it felt a little plastic. I will agree with you on the weapons thing. I don't know why those guys didn't just show up Banderas style and open their cases and pull out their weaponry. Just
anything. I would have loved to have seen, they just got a briefcase full of weapons. Not I turned mine into a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Right,
I turned mine into a rocket launcher.
No, and even if you need to have it gadgety, have it so that when the thing springs open, the weapon shoots up and they can just grab it in midair.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yes, that works. They earn that. That's the thing they earned. Yeah,
that's the thing they earned.
Yeah.
This was the thing I talked about, Scott, earlier this week. I had said that I felt like that part didn't hold up, not because the world changed, but because I changed, because I got older, and I think I want something different, because 20-year-old me or any 20-year-old today might think that's cool as shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I can totally see that. It definitely feels like it has not aged in some ways. Well, there are a couple of scenes and a couple of things that do happen where it, I think, ages really well. And Tarantino has this ability to come into a movie even when he's just the actor and has nothing to do with the writing. He has the ability to come in and make it feel like a Tarantino movie, not because he's there, but because of what he's saying. He's doing this thing where he's telling this joke that seems like you would never tell this joke. Why are you telling this joke? Like, it's such a Tarantino moment when he does that joke that it makes me wonder if he just kind of improv it, came in with the joke and said, hey, what if I told this joke?
Yeah, I think I can actually see him saying, I'm going to tell a joke. I'm not going to tell you what the joke is. You just got to kind of play along with it.
Play along, Robert. Yeah. Hey, Robert, look at my feet. I'm going to do this joke. Yeah, like totally.
We all see, right, that Robert Rodriguez is trying to make a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Kind
of. Like, that's an overt action going on.
Well, I don't know about that for sure, because I don't feel like the movie El Mariachi as well. They're movies based. He's making 70s exploitation action films.
He's making grindhouse movies.
Yeah, and he was doing that before he even met Tarantino. And Tarantino's
You're approaching my point.
Yeah, but Tarantino's
they're both influenced by the same thing.
They're parallel.
So
yeah, that's my point. And Tarantino's what, a year off of Pulp Fiction? It was just less than a year ago when he shows up in this. Reservoir Dogs, same year as El Mariachi, 92. So he's just getting going. So I don't think this is Rodriguez going, I'm making a movie like you'd make. I think this is just those two were meant to find each other. They live in the same milieu, I think.
I'm just talking about specifically Tarantino's appearance in this movie.
Yeah.
Is the kind of dialogue that Rodriguez saw in Pulp Fiction. It's or it's at the very least, it's an attempt at. I don't think Rodriguez is as good at building that kind of dialogue into a movie as Tarantino is.
No, Tarantino's really good at. I mean, that's his whole thing.
I think Robert Rodriguez is more fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
that's
don't know.
interesting. That's an interesting statement.
Oof,
I
God.
think I kind of
I think you
agree,
give me
but
the choice.
I always
think you
feel
give me the
s- I
choice, and I'm
always
going to
feel
want to
s-
watch a
Well,
Tarantino
let's put it this
film.
way. I
Yeah.
always feel sick after watching Tarantino film.
For sure.
Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, I feel sick. I don't know if I
No,
even
yeah,
like
no,
Yeah,
you should.
and
I don't even know if I
You're
like
supposed to.
humanity anymore.
Yeah.
But Robert Rodriguez makes me like people and this fun, and I love it.
no,
Does that
I think
make
that's fair. That's fair. I
Yeah.
think that's true.
I guess my brain went to my favorites, and my favorite Tarantino movie for being pure distilled Tarantino is Death Proof.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that to me could have been a Robert Rodriguez movie. I realized that he and Rodriguez made movies side by side, but like Death Proof, just it's fun, and it's the most fun that you're gonna have with Tarantino. Whereas, like, if my brain had gone to, oh, I don't know, Kill Bill, right? It's not intended to be that fun. It's supposed to be really, really gory.
Shocking, and yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They both do really well at both their things.
I just remember feeling a little disappointed that once Rodriguez got his studio and he got real money and backing and was making movies with big stars and everything, I just felt like, and you can see it in his IMDb scores, it starts to dip and goes down and down and down. And by the time you get to his most recent stuff, I mean, it's like 4s and 3.5s and.
Well, he just wants to make pizza at home.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Ibbett got that.
that awesome cauliflower crust pizza with
All
John
Robert
Favreau.
Rodriguez wants to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
I respect the hell out of him that he made some fun movies that he wanted to make, and that it feels like to me he doesn't feel like he's wrung out in Hollywood. He feels like oh, you know what? I'm just gonna make the movies I want.
Yeah, and he
You
kind of
can't
just
force me to
stayed.
do
He
it.
sort of just stayed in Austin. He didn't really went anywhere.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's like, I'm not living in Hollywood. I'm going to do what I want
Screw
from
you guys.
here and make my own thing. And there's a spirit to that I really admire.
I know. And then you go too far and you get Yui Boll, right? He's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I make my own movies the way I want to. Screw you, Hollywood.
Oh man, it's been too long since we've seen one of his pieces of shit.
Mhm.
We should do that.
Or not long enough for some.
Not long enough. Yeah.
Depends on how you define it, I guess. But yeah, there's some interesting other trivia here. For example, during the production of the film, Robert Rodriguez and actor Danny Trejo discovered they are second cousins.
Oh, wow.
While on set. Now I don't have anything to back this up. It's just in the trivia, but I liked it.
I like that idea because Danny Trejo, he seems like if he got that bit of information, he would just be so happy about it.
I'd be so
And God,
excited,
it'd just be a
right?
great-
Right.
Yeah, it'd be a great
He'd
interaction.
show up on set and say, "Hey, I think we're related, man." And
Oh, look at that!
now give me my
He is
vest of knives.
he's the dude that's been in the most Robert Rodriguez films, and I'm curious if this was the first one or if they like worked together for 2 movies or 3 movies before they figured that out.
Well, they've only got this is their first together. I don't know how they met or what their deal is, but El Mariachi didn't have him in it, so this is it. This is his second film ever.
Okay.
So they only knew each other.
Good pick.
Moving
That is a
forward.
good pick, yeah.
But maybe that was why he said, "Wait, we're cousins, second cousins. You'll be in everything I make
Yeah, maybe.
from now on."
Right. Got to take care of family.
Yeah.
But I think you alluded to this earlier. It was surprising how quickly he was offed, because he easily could have been a make it to the end, last mini boss before the big boss
Yeah.
kind of fight.
And I thought
It
he
was weird because he had an opportunity to kill Banderas, because Banderas got he got hit. He was down.
Yeah.
All he had to do is like, excuse me,
Round
move out
that
of the way,
corner
fella.
and exactly. Yeah.
I thought he
But he
was
didn't.
longer. I've seen, like I say, movies. This is my 15th viewing or something. I could have sworn to you that he was a bigger factor all the way up till the end. And then this viewing, I was like, what happened? Did I see a different cut where Danny Trejo lived longer? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
I was kind of annoyed.
I kind of wish they would have went along, because I'm not sure if this was written in the script, the character writing, or I'm assuming Rodriguez probably pushed most of it. But I would have liked to have seen him do something heroic. Danny Trejo, he's kind of like just doing his job, kind of like. What's that
Hold
now?
on. He has
What?
he has like 3 of the best kills in the movie, where he's
He does.
dancing around that car.
Yeah.
It's like a limo.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my!
he's like hitting people with knives.
Firing
Yeah.
knives into that.
I want
yes.
him to like
very
save the
heroic.
Guitar Kid or something, because even Bucho, the Bucho character, even though he's pure evil, it seems, he also seems like he's taking care of his people. You know, he's like,
well, except when he opens fire on them.
Yeah, except when he shoots him for no apparent.
Exactly.
I don't know that guy.
Bam. He's thinking of the greater good for his people. It's like, yeah, okay, I got to be the bad boss, I guess. I got to be the bad boss for a minute.
I guess so.
To make a point.
I guess so. I don't know if I think he was just like pure.
He's just
he
a
was
psychopath.
Chaos.
He's just a psychopath.
Yeah, he just wanted to kill people.
I was seeing things there.
But when he was shooting into the crowd of his people, his men,
yeah,
and just firing randomly at them, and they're all falling over hay bales or whatever they were doing.
Yeah,
that's the moment I went, all right. Well, these kinds of bad guys, they crack me up. They're Skeletor level bad guys.
Laugh.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you're willing just to shoot all your resources like that, well, then what is the point of this? What are you doing? Like, you're not gonna. This won't last. First of all, because you're gonna have rebellion eventually. Somebody's gonna take you out because you're too, on the edge. You're gonna shoot people for no reason. So why wouldn't somebody in your organization either get you assassinated or otherwise, mass exodus or something? And I kind of hate that normally. But in a movie like this, where it is popcorn fare, it is supposed to be violent for no reason. It's a Splatterhouse Saturday afternoon matinee kind of vibe. I'm 100% fine with it. Make all these people cartoons. I don't care. It's fine with me. Especially Trejo. Bring him out. Have him throw knives out of his vest through the sunroof of your limo. Amazing.
When I saw it, I was like, "Oh no!" He brought knives to a gunfight. Then I'm like, "Oh, he brought a lot of knives."
All the knives.
Yeah. And I had to come up with an explanation as to why he didn't just get shot in the face, and that is that everybody is boggling at the knife girdle.
yeah, it's good.
The knife girdle.
Knives.
Yeah, I mean, it's really something to have this brief moment on screen and then have this archetype just stay in your head. Like, to me, it's the star of the movie in a weird way, but it's barely in there, and I'm kind of annoyed still that it was barely in there. Could have used more. More Trejo is the answer. In more life, in death, all the time.
And at taco and donut shops in L.A.
That's right. This movie almost featured John Leguizamo as El Mariachi, but Antonio Banderas decided he turned down the role. They gave it to Leguizamo, and then Banderas changed his mind. That's who they wanted in the first place.
Is that fact?
You ask IMDb if it's fact. They always tell us these things. We could play a little scrutiny. We got a little scrutiny here.
Yeah.
Why not?
Scrutiny.
I mean, who knows? But I think it'd have been okay. Leguizamo's grown on me.
But does he have the action chops to carry a movie like this? He's good at the action sidekick, but would he be good as the action lead?
It's a very good question.
Yeah. So, and I think there's so many moments where I was like, wow, only Antonio Banderas could have walked across that bar top and avoided that disco ball to whack somebody in the back of the head. I could only see him doing that. I don't know. Right. It's just such a physicality.
It's a great
thing.
Intro.
Yeah. I mean, Leguizamo, I like he's come out.
I love him.
Come out. That's the wrong term. He's ended up being a really great villain type lately.
Yeah.
In a lot of stuff. That Santa Claus thing from a couple years ago. I liked his John Wick character. He wasn't a bad guy, but he was the
I feel
mechanic.
like he's a great host of The Daily Show.
Yeah. He's great.
Oh, I never saw any of his. I need to see some of his deal.
I feel like he doesn't age. Feels like
he's got the right energy and tone for The Daily Show for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I like him a lot. So I wouldn't. Today, I'd be stoked about this casting. Back then, I would have gone, really? The guy from. What do we know him from then? I guess.
The Tu Wong Fu.
Right. What else? The Spawn movie, I guess. He was the
Spawn, right? Clown,
clown character. I guess he just probably wouldn't have been on our radar for that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, little roles, right? So like he was in Super Mario Bros. He was in Carlito's Way.
I hope he got out of Carlito's Way.
Before,
yeah.
Before this.
Get out of Carlito's Way. Rodriguez says in DVD commentary on this thing, which I've heard but don't remember any of this. Back in the day, I used to listen to those all the time. But anyway, that the day they shot Salma Hayek's love scene with Antonio Banderas, The entire crew showed up to see it.
You
I'm
damn
sure.
Skippy.
Yeah.
But
What's happening now? What's happening?
But the way this is worded is weird. It says the entire crew showed up to see it, period. He continued saying that, apart from the actors, only he and the script supervisor were in the room. Well, did they all see it or not?
Everybody may have showed up, but they said, no.
They cleared the set.
Wait
Yeah,
outside,
exactly.
babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
We'll tell
That
you all
would be the
about it
respectful
when
thing to
we're
do.
done. Yeah.
It also claims they were
I
at
actually-
that for 8 hours. 8 hours to film that scene.
I tried not to stare directly at that because I did not want to discover that there was any body doubles. I was like, that would ruin my life.
well.
So I just didn't look.
Well, good news.
Well,
Nope.
Good
there
news.
were.
Oh, there were?
Dang it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
there
didn't
were
know
body
that.
doubles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has
see?
that been confirmed? Because I did, when I was again writing the lyrics, I thought I better check this and make sure. And there's a point at which, like an interview where Salma says, I was very uncomfortable with the love scene in Desperado, but she doesn't
should
come
be.
out and say that I had somebody else come in and do it. But there's a lot of speculation with the
there's
body double
nothing-
because you never see face and
Right.
nudity.
That's
at the
actually a
same
good
time.
thing to separate that face from the body and person. I think that's a good thing. I'm
Yeah.
fine with body
Yeah.
doubles. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, yeah,
But
same.
my younger self who saw that scene, just like in Flashdance, every time I watched Flashdance, that other body there, no.
Oh, was that not really her? Jessica Biel
No.
or whatever her name is? Not Jessica Biel.
Yeah, or not Jessica Biel, Jessica. Yeah, Jessica Biel's. Yes.
Oh, Beals. Wait, who's the one that's
What?
married to the NSYNC dude? I have this all mixed.
Jessica-
Jennifer is
Jennifer
by the way,
Beals.
It's Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer
by the way.
Beals. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Jessica-
No wonder it didn't sound right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Jessica Biel with no S is married to Justin
Yes,
Timberlake, and
right.
then the other. Okay,
Right. But I was devastated because Flashdance, that Flashdance scene from my young childhood, and then finding out later on that was a body that devastated me.
Yeah,
I found that out just now.
yeah,
Just now. Now you're devastated. You're welcome.
yeah. Brian
You're
clearly
welcome.
devastated by this news.
yeah.
I don't know how he's gonna
Oh.
make it.
Exactly.
Uh,
I mean, it may not have been her body, but somebody's body.
Yeah, somebody's
It was somebody's body I was enjoying, right?
somebody's very naked body.
That's right.
And Banderas, of course, playing himself in that scenario.
I can't stop thinking about running spurs over somebody.
That was great.
Yeah.
I did catch that out of the corner of my eye. It's like, oh.
Because you have to think about the setup for this, right? They're like, they're in the middle of messing around, like, hold on, let me go get to my boot really quick. And he hops off the bed naked, walks over, gets his boot. Which one's got crap on the bottom of it? This one doesn't? Okay. Then walks back over the bed and then runs the spur. There's no spontaneous spur. Well, no spur of the moment, but there's no spontaneous like, oh, it'd be really sexy right now if I run this spur across your back.
Ow, hurts.
There's like 2 minutes of stuff that has to lead up to that.
Yeah, that seemed uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it, I think, is what I'm saying.
No.
I don't want to knock things I haven't tried, right? If you haven't tried having a spur run across your back in the
I don't know. I
and
can
really-
knock some things I haven't tried. I can knock them out right now. Nope. No thanks.
Okay.
But it's not like they were just jamming it as hard as they could into their skin. It was just
no, yeah,
basically like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo right across it. It's like, yeah, you could do
Makes
that.
me have-
You could do
makes
that
me have
same
more
thing with your fingers, basically.
It makes me have more respect for animal crackers and a belly button. That's what I'll say. There we
Right,
go.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. See, in that scene, right? Like Ben Affleck or his character says, "Oh, hold on, let me get this box of animal crackers open. Oh,
Yeah.
let's get this
What
open.
if,
Okay.
What if
Now
someone
lay
were
down."
broken?
Yeah.
Poke.
Mhm.
No.
Right. Oh, this one doesn't have a head. Can't use this one.
Yeah. I don't like any of
That's
that.
how it
Which
is.
shitty Australian accent should I use to describe this scene?
The only answer is that one. That's the only
Yeah.
one you should use.
That's the only one.
I wrote down here, I wrote my favorite Trejo role. I think it still might be. I like him in lots of things, but I liked him in the Replacement Killers, which I think we saw, or if we didn't, we should. Did we?
Not as the head on a turtle in Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. If we're going TV, probably.
Now, you know that wasn't his actual head, right?
No, I know,
Was it
but
head double?
I do love that though.
A turtle double, I think it was. Yeah,
Turtle double.
Yeah, it was his real head, just it's just a fake turtle.
it was just wasn't the real turtle.
But I think it still is, and it's partly because it's so brief, and it just leaves me to world build about that guy.
Yeah.
And then I have to just make up all the backstory because they really don't do anything with him. They just come flip, kill Buscemi, kill a couple of guys in a car, finally get shot very conveniently, by the way, only in your vest sides of your chest because that's where the squibs are. So they're shooting him, and he's got this chest, full
it's all
chest.
got to be vest squibs.
Yeah, it was all just vest shots, which really jumped out at me this time, but whatever.
Oh, and there was a lot of characters like that, though. It's like interesting characters with no backstory you have to write yourself, like Christo. It's like, if he can't be Christo, we don't want him. And it's like, oh, okay, what's Christo's deal? Is he the worst or is he the best? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want him to beat your best to be able to join the crew? That seems like you're never going to grow your crew that way.
And that's kind of your other wasted squandered potential was, all right, you establish this kid who beats Christo with his bad leg and knocks the guy out, and then comes back with a splint on his leg and is willing to fight, and then he gets shot and falls off a roof.
He gets volunteered for everything. He's like, you see this progression. It's like, oh, he's progressing nicely. Oh, he's going to be the star of the show. Nope, he just takes it right.
Right. Nope. Again, you think he's going to be like one of your last guys, but no, he's just like, oh, he's on the roof. Bam. Now he's on the ground.
Yep. End of that guy.
It is a movie that's constantly asking from one scene to the next, what would be the most badass and cool thing here? And it doesn't really care about continuity. Like there are definitely pieces of continuity, right? Like you have to have it make sense. Why does El Mariachi not shoot the guy when he finally sees his enemy? Oh, it's his brother. Like there are continuity steps, obviously, but like that scene where there's a couple of guys cage fighting out in the dirt, like it's just cool. It's cool for cool's sake.
It is cool, and it actually invests us into the character, but not necessarily emotionally, just that we recognize. So when he gets shot later on, he's not just shooting random guys, right? So it has a small impact.
The whole point of that scene is to invest us into the Bucho character. Everything else is just supposed to be cool in that scene.
Right.
It's the Bucho character that we're finding out. Oh, he's bloodthirsty. He's a psychopath. He'll just throw away his.
Why not both? Right.
Etc.
Let's develop two characters.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
I mean, sure, but you're asking a lot of this movie. This movie is a series of gunfights, you know?
Yeah, and great ones. They're fun. They're really well choreographed, and I felt super invested in just like the action of it. I like that stuff.
I was a little sad that there wasn't any real scorpions in this. I mean, we had a scorpion crossing sign. We had a scorpion on the back of the.
Didn't you get enough scorpions in that Charlie Sheen thing when they're dropping from the fan into that woman's bed?
Well, that's
why
not
enough scorpions for you.
I'm like, what's the theme here? I don't know.
I feel like Ibit. I'm with Ibit.
Plenty of scorpions for that. By the way, we really quickly talking about your favorite Danny Trejo film, and I was like, oh, I'll just glance at his filmography and see if I can figure it out. No chance. Like you cannot. You need to devote a weekend to looking at the list of Danny Trejo's filmography. In 2013 alone, he was in 20 movies.
Oh, what?
20 movies.
Oh
in
my
2013 alone.
Has an ex-con ever had a better Hollywood career than this
guy? Yeah, exactly. Get out and make good.
Yeah. Because good Lord. All right.
We've now seen Danny Trejo in 12 movies on FilmSack. 12.
12. Wow.
He'll apparently just do whatever he gets paid.
Yeah. Look at his 2023 list. Respect. His 2020. You said 2013. Look at 2023. Yeah.
Oh, see on. There's only 6 things on Wikipedia. There are a ton in
tons
IMDb.
of them. I can't even mention them all. In fact, if I hit see all, there are additional ones I didn't see.
Oh my gosh!
By the way, Trejo on Threads is great. He's one of the few people.
He's pretty great on there.
Oh, really? I got to check that out.
He's very good. I want to eat a Trejo taco. I've never been there. It's a good Randy. You probably eaten there. You probably had that.
Yeah, I mean it's a taco. It's there's just not a lot.
Wait. There's a wide.
Sorry, I'm going to go through the rest of this episode thinking that in his spare time, Trejo's going to listen to this episode. I'll bet it was the best damn taco you ever had.
Yeah. Like when you say just a taco, I think of Taco Bell. Now, but there's a lot of shades beyond that.
No, I don't even.
Better or worse than Torchy's. Torchy's is great. I think Torchy's is the bar for me.
Torchy's tacos. Never had one either.
Pretty good bar.
Yeah, never had one of those.
Okay, so like, I'm just saying, there's like generally 2 tiers in Southern California. There's like this massive tier of tacos that no one in their right mind considers good.
Yeah,
and then there's this upper tier where you have people who are actually trying, and it's fine.
Where
It's
people
good.
are actually trying. I love that. It's a little bit of just small shade in their direction. A little shade.
Well, I can
Little-
understand what
little
Randy's saying. I've gotten Taco Bell tacos. I can see they're not trying. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not. Yeah, but the chain
The
like
meat's
that.
not even in the shell. It's over here on the side.
Sure.
Is that even a taco? Yeah.
I mean, there's a place in downtown Salt Lake called Taco Taco, run by a big Mexican immigrant family that is the best taco I've ever had. But I don't know what to compare it to. I'm not really, not a connoisseur. I'm not around it. But I know that one's good. And I could eat that right now. I would eat that now. Do we like the Los Lobos music in the film? I liked it. Thought
I like
fit.
it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Absolutely
anything,
love it.
if I only had one complaint, it's this. I'll play it in the intro again. You can just kind of hear it.
Cutthroat scumbags were coming out of the woodwork and dying much deserved
So
deaths.
the mix is really low on the music through the whole movie, and including action scenes where the music is supposed to be a little bit more prominent. And he's like reloading under the bar, and there's chaos going on, and the music's just kind of going do, almost like it's background. And it kind of annoyed me a little bit. I don't know if it's the transfer on this particular Netflix version of the thing, or if it's always been that way, or if that's on purpose. I don't know. But I kind of felt like it was understated.
Yeah, and I don't even. I think that's just your regular Dick Dale surf music. I don't think that's Los Lobos in the bar music.
Oh,
For sure it's
Cutthroat
not.
scumbags were coming out of the woodwork and dying much deserved deaths. Now, don't get
Yeah, I
me
think
That's not Los Lobos at all.
yeah. Well, I don't know
think
who
that's
that is,
just
but
whatever they carry around because I've heard that a million times.
Because you hear that in the
Rodriguez movies.
Yeah, the Tarantino joke scene I think
Tarantino.
has the
Yeah.
same music actually, and probably one of Tarantino's diner scenes has that same song.
Yeah.
But
I bet it's everywhere.
yeah, which makes me wonder. All right, where was the Los Lobos music most prominent?
I guess
most
it
probably
was when he was on the road.
Yeah,
He was hitchhiking, I think maybe had a sequence of music, stuff like that. So yeah, it's fine. I just could have used more of it. I thought when they did use it, it was great. It was a perfect fit. And I don't know. Overall, the music just kind of sounded quiet.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
wanted
there's a bunch of music in this movie that's not Los Lobos, and it's all used very strategically, right? Like there's a Carlos Santana song, there's a couple of Latin Playboy songs, there's a Dire Straits song I think I heard in there,
Oh, really?
I missed that.
and it's just like it's used, very sparingly. Like it's supposed to be down in the mix because you walk into a cantina, there's a jukebox playing.
Yeah. No, that's true. And that's fine. If that's the effect they were aiming for, like the jukebox is playing it, and that's why I'm hearing it quiet, that's fine. I just,
But I just can't see somebody in that low life bar. Like, hey, give me a quarter. I want to put Sultans of Swing on the jukebox real quick.
Dude, Mark Knopfler, like his guitar sound is perfect for this kind of thing.
Yeah. I always wish
It is, yeah.
I wish Knopfler would have done more. Not that I don't like his voice, but I wish there was. Is there? And maybe Ibbott knows of this. Maybe there is more of this, and I just don't know it. But I would love like more instrumental.
He did a lot of soundtrack stuff.
Oh, he did. See, I love that. I should seek that out.
Besides
on.
Princess Bride,
I can probably name a Mark Knopfler soundtrack if I really think about it.
I mean, Princess Bride is probably the biggest one, right?
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I've seen that movie a million times. I had no idea he was involved in that.
Yeah,
I like the soundtrack in it though. It's very good.
He's done 8, 9, Wag the Dog, Metroland, Last Exit to Brooklyn, Comfort and Joy, Cal, Local Hero, Altamira being the most recent one, but also another 9 solo albums. So yeah, you can find a lot of. Wow, he's done more solo albums than they had with Dire Straits. I didn't realize Dire Straits only released 7 albums. Wow.
Wow, that's shorter
6,
than I thought.
6. Yeah.
When was their last?
91.
Okay, so not that far off from the one
On
everyone
Every
knows.
Street, which the hit from that one was, I think, Heavy, Heavy Fuel was the song from that one. But Brothers in Arms was the second to last.
Right.
So they really,
That's where they peaked.
blew their wad on that one and then started petering out. Yeah.
Yep.
And so the two Los Lobos songs here are Canción de Mariachi, which is like a radio hit after this movie, you hear it on the radio. And then I think at the very end of over the credits, they have a Los Lobos song called Let Love Rain. And I remembered this movie being jam packed with Los Lobos. And so like, it must just be that this first big song where he, by the way, he smacks somebody in the face with the head of his guitar. I love that.
Yeah.
That whole thing with Antonio Banderas walking on the bar with his guitar and playing and singing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love
it must be that song just like really sticks out as
I think so too. Cause in my head, it's like wall to wall Los Lobos, and it's clearly not. But they're made for that stuff, man. That's what they do. I also thought I heard a little bit of that. What's the Cuban band that everyone loves? They kind of peaked in the 90s, and they're all really old, but they had this amazing album. What was the name of that? Anyway, I thought I heard them in this. I thought I heard a track. Something nightclub or something.
Buena Vista Social Club.
Social Club.
Buena Vista Social Club, yeah.
I love their sound so much. Oh my gosh. And I'm not even like, I don't know, it's weird, even as a young person, where I wouldn't have cared for this.
Those guys too.
I love their stuff. So good. I don't know if they were in this or not, but I had
They were not.
Okay.
And you know, like at the very least, Rodriguez is trying to make this movie sound Mexican. And it does, I think. Like it's a stretch, right? When you see when you see Antonio Banderas playing and singing, you know, you have to like kind of wince a little bit, like close your eyes and let it happen.
Trivia,
you know, like
trivia claims he's playing the guitar and all that. Says he's doing it. I don't know if that's true, but scrutiny.
Okay.
That's what it says. It says that all those guitar bits were his fingers strumming the things.
Fingers.
You can see his fingers working, and then it's really weird when they're like, "Hey, remember how they destroyed your hand and you can't play the guitar now?" And like, hold on, what?
Well, he was that was a dream sequence though that whole time. But according to the trivia, he is actually singing and playing the guitar. He's
okay.
Supposedly, right. I'm not saying this has been verified, but he may have more talent than we give him credit for. I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, he uses it to pick up ladies. I believe it.
Yeah,
sure.
They believe it. I believe it. How about that? Yeah. There is a vibe around this that just feels like mythological Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Which I think Rodriguez is really good about doing in Dusk Till Dawn and other things. But there's a feeling of like this is hyper realized culturally. Culture. This isn't
right.
I don't just mean like the out of this world action and stuff. I just mean kind of the mythic nature of that bar, of that place.
Yeah. The whole town and stuff is a character.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
I like that a lot too.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and that's where I was really hoping the Mexico follow-up one was going to do that, and it just maybe I need to revisit it, but I remember just hating it. And I think they brought Trejo back for something. Different character, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was a different character.
His brother. I would love that.
Right.
He's Blade's brother.
I love the idea
he throws
of that.
Forks. Oh,
But I hate the fact that they're brothers in this movie. That Banderas. You like that, Randy? You like the fact that they ended up being brothers?
There's nothing wrong with the brothers.
No, I like that
Bucho.
Conceptually, and I thought they held it together. It's like
right.
This movie doesn't deserve to have people talking in the final scene, you know? And somehow there they are, and these two actors are pretty good at this. And then when it ends with Banderas, he's got guns up his sleeves, and they come out, and you don't actually see how badass he is. You just hear the gunshots, and you realize, wow, he just killed everybody, and and saved Salma Hayek, and so on. Like, wow, that's beautiful. I like that a lot. Yeah,
yeah. I also like the joke at the end where he's like, "We're leaving this world behind. Never gonna have to worry about being an El Mariachi again. My guitar is getting hucked. I'm hucking it full of guns." And then they pull out
screen into the grass area.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Back in the middle of the road.
But then they come back and they're like, "Oh no, we might need this just in case."
Yeah, might need it. Better picking it back up.
It's a cheap joke, but it worked for me. That's fine with it.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on this case.
This is not. Sometimes you think the guns are the expensive part. No.
It's the hinge that opens the flap.
It's very expensive.
This movie, can I have a trope alert? Actually?
Sure. Hold on. Where is it?
This movie is chock full of Captain Obvious dialogue, and I'm here for it. You know, there's like dialogue like, "What's that? My guitar case. What's in it?
Yeah.
My guitar."
My
Like,
guitar.
and it's like, you know, like you always hear movie makers should show, not tell. Well, sometimes it's really funny to tell, like to tell me exactly what I'm seeing. Can be kind of, you know, when Buscemi is telling his story at the beginning, and I'm just going to say his last name like I always have.
Sure.
You know, he's like, it was as though the lights dimmed just for him. Like, you didn't have to say that. You
No.
could have just shown me the lights dimming, and I would have gotten it. But it's really funny that the movie's telling me what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I like that about it. I think it's fun. There's just this movie doesn't take too much too seriously. And if you look at it that way, and also, you know, the early 90s was we were bereft of this sort of Hong Kong action stuff. We didn't have a lot. And so when this stuff came around, I remember going, oh, action films are about to change forever. And they kind of did, you know? And it wasn't just him. It was things like, you know, John Woo films. And Tarantino and him have both been very vocal about how John Woo inspired a lot of their early filmmaking, and especially the action stuff and how it worked. Like we were getting a new kind of way of looking at action that wasn't just guy in a truck with a shotgun or whatever we were used to. And we got to see something new. And I like that.
Guy in a truck with a shotgun.
Guy in a truck with a shotgun,
like,
you know.
Like we hadn't already had, you know, Die Hard, and like this movie is not cutting any new ground, Scott.
I disagree.
It is
I think
standing
that
on the shoulders of what came before.
I guarantee you, if you take every action scene from Die Hard, match it up with every action scene from this. I'm not saying Die Hard's not a better movie. It is. But the kind of action, totally different kind of action. And I would say that's true of things like, you know, we watched, what was it? Hard Target. All right. In a lot of ways doesn't hold up. John Woo's first American film with Van Damme. There are still things in there. The way that they're filmed, action scenes, the way that they're filmed, that just did not exist until he came over here and started doing that stuff. And then other directors got comfortable doing it. I think there's a distinct difference between action before around 1990 through 95 and action after.
No, well, I agree. You're going to make a huge long range like that, sure, but like I'm just saying,
5 years. It's not that long. I'm just saying
the people making this movie saw Tombstone. It's not like they were just like, we're going to be totally inventive here.
Yeah, but Tombstone's not there. That's my point, though. If you go take Tombstone and again strip out all the action, compare it to something like this, it's not the same action. It's very old school. Like as westerns go, and I love that movie, love Tombstone. It's pretty safe on the action front. You know, there's some great intense scenes, but they're not doing anything like new or shocking or whatever. And so I don't know. In the same way that I don't want to call them pulpy movies, but you know, pre-Tarantino, post-Tarantino, things changed. You know, pre-Star Wars, post-Star Wars, science fiction changed. It to me, there was a moment there, and I'm not putting it all at the feet of Rodriguez, but there was a moment there where action films changed, and they changed because of these stylistic, fresh-faced directors that were just like, well, what if it went like this? What if it was, you know, we try this angle, and I don't know. It just feels like it became different after these things.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you here because, and maybe from a different angle, art is language, and every time a great artist or someone who impacts us greatly as an artist comes along, they define our language and how we view movies. And so I think the language changed a little bit. It was influenced. And so
that's a good way of putting it, the language of it, because it is a language, right? Like how you speak this stuff. And certainly in Tarantino's case, it's like literally language, like the way he writes and talks and improv.
And you have to train your audiences how to speak that language, and once they do, then it opens it up for subsequent things.
And then there's a bunch of bad copycats too, right? Like there's a bunch of movies that are trying to be Tarantino-esque that just fail because they're bad or whatever. I don't know.
They think it's just the presence of guns and banter, pop culture references and banter that make a Tarantino movie. And it's not just that.
Yeah, they missed the point.
It's people getting shot in the face. Everybody knows that.
Right. Yeah, get shot in the face. Welcome to the theater.
I want to be really, really clear. I am not arguing that this movie is a copycat.
Right.
I am arguing that your statement, Scott, about it being something new and fresh would be better laid on John Woo with like The Killer and Hard Boiled. Like those seem to me like a turning point or an elevation of this form.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels like Robert Rodriguez watched John Woo movies and then tried to add a little bit to it.
Oh, 100%.
I think
we agree.
I think the difference here, I think you kind of both agree, but I think the difference here is who was it influencing? The content creators or the audiences?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think that they, and like I said, they've said as much. Him and Tarantino have talked a ton about John Woo's influence. And it's not just them, obviously. That stuff was a big deal. And it's really a bummer, right? Because he's got a movie out now, or did, right around Christmas. First John Woo movie in like 20 years in America or something.
And we all went, John who?
And we all kind of just went, meh. And it bums me out because I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's fine. It may not be glory days of John Woo, but I'm sure it's fine. If anyone's seen that, you should write it and tell us if that was good.
It's like every time Toto comes out with a new album, right? You're like,
does Toto come out with a new album?
I was about to say, when did that happen?
There's been like 14 albums that you've never heard or listened to, right? Because it's just, or Def Leppard comes out with a new album, and you're just like, oh, you were great once. I don't need. I either need you to build a time machine for me to really love your stuff, or for you to just play the hits. You know?
Yeah.
Shut up and play the hits, old man.
Yeah.
I love Randy's take.
But that's how we're going to treat someone like John Woo making a new movie.
Yeah, that's true.
You cannot take me back in time 25 years and let me see your new movie the way I would have.
I totally agree with that. There is a thing.
I don't know
if Tarantino disappeared for 20 years and then suddenly resurfaced with a new movie. I mean, maybe I'm underselling him, but if he did, there's a good chance we'd go, oh well, everyone does this now. Like,
I think it has to come down to if the artists themselves have matured, because some artists do mature and some artists just keep doing what they're good at.
Yeah.
And so did John Woo evolve? Because like you could say, like the Smashing Pumpkins stuff that came out in the last couple of years, the old stuff is fantastic, and the new stuff does have reflections of the old stuff, but you also can tell that it's matured and it's changed.
Yeah, and in some cases, though, you don't like that, right? Like, I didn't like the last two Green Day albums, and I pretty much wrote them off, and then this new one is so freaking good so far. But the reason I like it is because it sounds like they just went, you know what, let's make like we made in 2000.
Back to,
yeah. And that's valid, too. It's valid to revisit those.
It's a bummer, though, right? Because part of me thinks, did they just acquiesce to us pressuring them to just do what we want?
Is this the album they wanted to make, or the album they made because we wanted them to make?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of artists go through this. They age and they want to progress as artists, but then they find out there's no audience there, or at least not the size of audience that they once had during the glory days, and they have to kind of go and follow their fans. And at first it seems very disappointing, but in the end they find gratitude that their fans were there at all, and that they had a place to express that creativity. I've seen a lot of artists go through this, and that's just being an artist.
Well,
it's also what it is.
Sure.
There's also a thing for artists where they too grow old, like all the rest of us, and we only allow a select few to make movies or music that's based on growing older, right? So like we're fine with the Expendables, right? Like that. Yeah. For some reason, we're like, that's really cool. That speaks to me. I'm older now too. But then a lot of the attempts to do that, we're just like, no. You have to make movies with young people that talk about young themes, about finding love and going to war and this kind of thing. And it's just the way we are. We just like, we're difficult as an audience.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Well, it's is it as fair as me wanting to play clips? That's the question.
I want to hear clips, because
it's unfair that you haven't started playing them already.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It feels unfair somehow that we haven't started them. Well, I'll start them now, and I'll have to admit, this is the shortest amount of clips we've ever had on the show. Literally, this is the record, and I think it's because I'm not actually sure. There aren't a lot of moments of like stuff.
Except
I
for-
got to play this clip. Like
Yeah,
don't
there it's dialogue heavy in spots, and then the rest of us, barren.
yeah. And the dialogue heavy parts are big contextual things, like a giant joke from Tarantino. It's not a one-off quip or something.
Right.
So I'll give you what I got. All right, that's what you're gonna get. Here's number one about whatever piss warm Chango is.
All I got is piss warm Chango.
That's my brand.
Chango is a brand, is it? I don't know.
I've never heard of Chango beer.
It's a funny name for beer.
Oh, I
They
love
got
it.
they got a look. They got a logo on that tap and everything. I tried to look it up. I was like, "What is that?" It's like,
Oh, they had a Chango logo?
oh, yeah,
Yes,
a
they
little-
did.
Yeah,
A
on the
Chogo.
pole.
Cho logo. Here's one about why did the beer tap have to sound like this every time he hit it?
Oh God.
Here's the
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Yeah.
Dude.
I love it.
That's what
burping.
Chango sounds like. That's how you know the Chango's fresh.
The piss warm Chango has been put in
That's
there
right.
today.
And if it don't go, it ain't Chango.
And they used it a lot. I thought, you know what, I'll capture all these, but they were all the same sound, so I
They're
didn't
all
do
the
it.
same sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely somebody belching. Then they combine that with somebody pouring soup into a bowl or something.
Ah, gross. Now
So
that you've
full of
said those,
burps.
now that you've said that, let's hear it. Whoops. Oh, that's so much worse.
Yeah, I did like the idea of a bar that is a front for like money laundering, whatever they're doing in the back room, dealing. I like that idea. The fact that they had no passion whatsoever for the actual bar itself, and it was representative of the service.
It's a little bit
Right.
weird that Tarantino got shot in the face for doing nothing. Do you think?
Right.
I
Oh,
liked
is
it.
that going on right now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that didn't seem fair. And that guy really
Yeah.
got his when he got pushed on the sidewalk and had two guns to his neck.
Oh, jeez.
Kablumo. She should have been more shocked by that because she comes over, wraps her arms around Banderas, starts to pull him away from this ketchup nightmare he's created. It's blood all over his face and it's stuff. And she's way too calm about it. Like she
Yeah.
needs to be gross. She needs to be like recoiling and going, "Oh my gosh, what?" Because what he did to that guy's head would be really memorable.
Yeah.
They don't show
and
it, but
and it would
It's
be
the nightmare
smelly.
of living in that town.
oh
Everything in this movie would be smelly. I can't stop thinking
Oh,
about that. Like,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
like even if you used paint to paint up that bathroom stall
Yeah.
and you didn't actually use poop, the paint would be smelly.
Yeah. You know what else would stink is Banderas because he wore
Yeah.
that black mariachi outfit, which is not doesn't breathe. And he's out in the freeway doing thumbs out, trying to get rides. Big long walk in the hot Mexican summer. That dude reeks. Sorry.
I'm telling you. And if you've never smelt a large amount of blood, it's not a good smell. And he was bleeding a lot.
Yeah, but blood smells like copper, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Like
That's what
metal.
they say. Yeah. Or iron. Yeah.
Gross. Oh, that's gross. Oh, we didn't talk about what grossed me out today.
Oh yeah.
It's
I,
in
I
there
were
couldn't
fingers-
even pinpoint it. I tried
Well, there
to
were
think
fingers
about
in the mouth at one point during the love scene.
There
That
were,
had to be-
yeah. I would put that right up there with this, but for me, it's that
Gross.
It's that toilet room. I
Oh,
know it's,
yeah.
I know it's probably not even real. Feces smeared all over. It didn't matter.
It's probably not real.
No, I mean
that
even
idea.
in the
In
context of the
universe.
movie,
In
I mean.
universe.
In universe,
Yeah,
it's
in
not-
universe.
it's not poop.
Yeah, it's probably
Right,
just
okay,
made to
okay.
look that way so that people are grossed out by it. I get why it's a great ruse to hide a door.
Yeah.
But I just was like, dude.
When they pull back and you see the door open, though, I was just like, "Whoa, biggest bathroom stall ever invented!" Because think about it. If for a door to go there, right?
yeah,
Like if it's just a regular bathroom stall, the door is as wide as a deck of cards, and it's a regular door, like that a man can walk through.
yeah, it's
A
huge.
man.
It's huge.
A man, a Tarantino-sized man.
Yeah, Tarantino-sized man can fit right through there, it turns out. And that guy with all the hair. All right, let's see. We got another clip here. This is, oh, we heard it already. Well, I'll play it again.
World-class turds.
It's just fun to hear.
It is.
I like that one.
That's what is smeared across the walls of that stall.
Cleaner mug.
Can I get a cleaner mug? This one's dirty.
This one's dirty.
I laughed out loud at that part. That made me laugh.
It's the cleanest one I got, he says.
Yeah.
I didn't cap that part.
That felt like improv.
Yeah. Well, let's finish out with Tarantino laughing. There you go. It's a real quality moment of
That's
Tarantino.
great.
Yeah, good stuff. Here's this now. It's the Film Sack checklist. Tarantino pee-pee story, check. Come in the secret poo room. Don't touch anything coming in, check. And finally, every gross bar should have a Cheech slinging beer, check. Let's see. Let's move on to these Star Trek connections. I think I know one, but I need Randy to confirm. So, Randy?
No, we don't have any of the actors in Star Trek.
I thought Trejo did a thing. I
actually looked because I thought so too.
Yeah.
And no, there's a couple of like interesting people way down the list. So like there's a stunt guy named Henry Kingy Jr. and he did stunt double work in Deep Space Nine. When you look at this guy, you're like, oh, I can see he kind of looks like Antonio Banderas, or maybe in Deep Space Nine he looks like Dr. Bashir. But they also let him play have a brief speaking role in an episode of Deep Space Nine. So I thought that's kind of cool when someone isn't really an actor and they let him just be an actor for a minute.
Sure.
But it was makeup designer, it was sound recorder, like that's all we got.
Okay, well, that's at least there's something for Star
There's
Trek.
definitely something. And the stunt coordinator for this movie was a stunt person in Star Trek 4.
Oh.
And I think that's kind of cool too. Like you did some stunts in The Voyage Home, and then you end up getting to be the stunt producer.
There was some cool stunt stuff in this when he was jumping backwards off that building and firing as he went.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. That looked great. He landed way too soft, but whatever.
Yeah,
I can't pick it all apart.
The physics of fighting in this movie.
They're
like,
pretty out of this world.
Like what bugged me the most of all of it was the knives. Like because and they actually depict it pretty fair. There's a moment when Antonio Banderas has 3 knives in him. And you're like, oh, you could see they're only like a half-inch deep. Like
they're shallow.
Because how could they go very deep? Right? Look at those things. They're tiny little knives. They're not a sword, like
right.
Anyway,
it's just like they're more to slow and drop your prey and then finish them off some other way, They're just like a way to get
them more to make your prey go, ah,
yeah,
holy, ow.
Yeah. I mean, when he was yanking them out, that was gnarly. It was nasty.
Yeah. They needed barbs on them.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I will just never forget the glory of the corset. The knife corset gorgeous. Is just it's the greatest thing ever.
It is great. Yeah.
It's always bigger in my memory though than when I see the movie. I always think he's got.
That's what you want. He's supposed to be the biggest Mexican you've ever seen.
I don't mean him and his size. I mean like I always see strapped knives everywhere. It's not just his girdle.
A bigger girdle, like he's
Yeah, it's on his arms. It's wrapped around his legs. He's just covered in knives. Let's see here. That was Star Trek. How about soundtrack grade? I give it an MG for mostly great. I liked a lot of it. I didn't like that outro song. I don't know who that was or what the deal was. I didn't cap it, but I didn't like it. Whatever that was. That was a very, hey, we're just barely into the 90s, folks, and some old 80s shit still hangs around. I don't know. It wasn't great. I didn't love it. Let's get to the social media post. This is where you guys in 280 characters or less express your opinions about this film and sum things up. Let's start with Randy.
Desperado. Soy un hombre muy honrado. That means I tell the truth. Las mujeres no me faltan was a brag we said in youth. When you go to the cantina, choose a table, not a booth. They made me fight with Christos, and that's why I lost a tooth. Why does this movie blow? Maybe because they used too much slow-mo.
Oh, that's a really deep poem today.
Too much slow-mo.
Hey, Brian Dunaway, let's hear yours.
Oh, do I get to do one this week? Desperado. Like piss-warm Chango beer pulled from the tap. Hey, that's my brand, and so is this movie. Could have used more scorpions at the Scorpion Crossing, though. Banderas O-face emoji.
He loved going, oh, when he was
he did.
He had some energy back then. What's the last thing we saw before this? Was it was the
Throw Mama from the train. Throw Mama from the train.
Oh, that's right. Throw Mama.
No. I mean, what was the last one we saw that had him in it?
The last Banderas thing that we saw?
Was it Uncharted? Was it bad?
No,
guy?
those
think it was Uncharted.
So,
It might have been Uncharted. I think you're right.
Because prior to that, we saw him as in that assassin thing where him and somebody else were always facing off as dual assassins.
I think, right?
Was it Stallone? Oh, right. Oh shit! Whatever. Not the Jackal.
I really felt like we watched the two Zorro movies most recently. Of his,
gosh,
I think,
no! It feels like
No.
I think
definitely
you're right.
Uncharted is more recent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Uncharted, and that was a stupid character because he died too soon. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to Brian Ibbets.
Desperado. It's Bucho, man. Who? Bucho. No, man. Bucho's not here.
Good call. That's like a good pull off the Chango there. That's pretty good.
God, I listened to that album a billion times.
Yeah, I was a big fan of those guys back in our young days. They have a whole weed company now. I guess they do pretty well.
Yeah.
Both of them do. I know Chung does.
But
Right?
Chung does.
They're together now. They got like a whole. I get advertised all the
they're
time.
back together again.
Yeah,
nice.
I get advertised constantly from their weed company on Twitch or not Twitch.
They really know their market.
Yeah,
TikTok.
Really get Twitter, whatever the hell X is.
Okay.
But they're always going. And if you can't get this CBD available in your state, order it now. So they got the whole range, and anyway, good for them, I guess.
Play to your audience. You're doing good. You're doing just fine.
They should have to, by law, only hire people named Dave, though. I think that's how that should go.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Never show up to work.
Let's get to the alternate titles. These were just handed to me. This original title was supposed to be, this movie is going to call itself Guitar Hero. That's interesting. But I think
I see. That's really funny, Scott.
Yeah, it's not bad. Or or almost Knives In, which is interesting.
Oh, Knives In,
yeah.
even better.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's not bad. Moving on to some emails and texts and things. Here's a email, filmsack@gmail.com from Wooz, W-O-O-Z, who says, "Hey, Sackmeisters, you mentioned the new WKRP while discussing Throw Mama from the Train. Michael Desbarres, who is a DJ in the new series. Debarra, is that it?
Just Debar, yeah, Michael Debar. Yep.
Oh, are the ES silent? I guess they are.
Yeah, he's it's a French name. He's British. You've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay. So I'd know this guy if I saw him.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to look it up. Who is a DJ in the new series, was in the original series. He played Dog in the first season episode Hoodlum Rock. Loved the show and loved learning again why it is that Owen doesn't have a friend. Thanks.
That is some deep WKRP knowledge.
Yeah, Michael Debar. Well, I mentioned because I said like the main dude was the guy whose wife was the one who took all the plaster casts of rock stars' penises, which is true. His wife was Pamela Debar, who's famous for being plaster caster and she has plaster casts of like Jimi Hendrix and Robert Plant.
Can I take a plaster cast of your penis?
Wow.
So this is not to be confused with DeBarge, who lets us
very much not dancing
different.
in the sheets, but a lot of that did go on.
This guy's cool. He looks cool still. Born in 48, but he looks like he's just rocking out now.
He looks like a rock star, basically.
Yeah. Like Billy Idol like style stuff. Well, at least in his IMDb photo.
When Robert Palmer left Power Station, he took over and led Power Station when they were at Live Aid.
Oh, interesting. Well, what's his name was addicted to love, so he was out.
he couldn't get it. He went to rehab for love.
Yeah, for love. Here's a quick text from a listener. This is 801-471-0462. It says, here is an incentive to see The Goonies. Joey Pants is one of the bad guys. Come on, man. Joey Pants taking a shot in the nuts. How can you say no? Says this anonymous listener. I mean, yeah, I don't feel like I
just picked up a DVD copy of The Goonies this past week.
Is that how you'll watch it when we do this?
From the thrift store. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen Goonies.
Well, I have the VHS as well, so we'll see. We'll just see how it goes.
I've never seen it. We need to see it. I don't know when we're seeing it. I know it's insane. So it's insane that I haven't seen it. I agree. It's stupid. So let's fix
everybody's got something.
Everybody's got something. Finally, we got an email or voicemail, and I love this voicemail because this guy's called before. I just love his vibe. So anyway, here it is. Let's hear him out.
Hey guys, man, I got one for you. We all love Sam Elliott, and we all like who's that guy with he's got a great head. Peter Weller, RoboCop. They did a movie together that I have never heard of, and to my knowledge, no one I know knows about it. But you guys, dude, it's got Sam Elliott throwing a fishing rod to get away. Who throws a fishing rod to get away? And there is a fist fight in the third act on a moving roller coaster.
Yes.
With Sam Elliott. And, dude, I guarantee you that this has the trope of the second act that Peter Weller doesn't make it. Well, the trope that the buddy doesn't make it. That being looks like Peter Weller. Wait. Well, I thought I should know. But I don't remember. Anyway, dude, it's called The Shakedown.
Yes.
Oh, man, it's not even streaming. Well,
No.
I don't know. We'll put it on your list. And, I mean, look at this thing. It's at 20%, and it's lit like a Chobani commercial against a late-night talk show background. This is perfect for you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, dude, you were right. Never change, man. You guys have a happy new year. And just make this one the best one yet.
I'll have
Keep your
whatever,
sacks full.
whatever he's having. I'll have what he's having. My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you
it.
do, don't tell me what I was right about. Thanks.
Nope,
Yeah.
just live, but no. Why would you want to know? That's
You can apply it to one thing. We're going to allow you to apply that right. I was right to one thing, Randy. Your choice.
Yeah, you pick.
get right credits.
I was right that Real Genius would be an awesome film sack movie.
Disagree.
Yeah, agreed.
Disagree.
Shakedown. That's one I haven't seen in a million years.
Don't think I've
But
ever
don't
seen
worry.
it.
As soon as Jim Cotta is streaming, we're watching Jim Cotta.
Jim
Yeah,
Of
Cotta.
course, yeah.
All right.
So
We need
yeah,
to
so
cover
Shakedown,
Blue Steel as well. Go ahead.
Shakedown is a Jim Glickenhaus movie, and everything that Jim Glickenhaus directed is on our watch list somewhere. It's
That's
like,
a funny name.
It
yeah,
is, yeah.
Jackie Chan's The Protector. I can't wait to watch that with you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who else is in this? John C. McGinley. This is an old one. How old is this?
Yep.
90, 80 something.
88.
88.
Wow, look at Sam Elliott. Okay.
Mhm.
This seems dumb not to see. We should see it.
Yeah.
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 Why did he say about the talk show background? It's just New York. It's not like it's a talk show.
A Chobani commercial against a talk show background.
I love that. Whoever this is, he never says his name. I love his calls. Anyway, keep those coming. 801-471-0462. Hey, guess what? We have some new patrons this week. Spicy Pepperoni, Brian Grabowski, and Tim Monroe. I love spicy pepperoni.
I want some right now.
Yeah, that would be
I
great.
like bland pepperoni. Is there anything like that?
Nobody likes bland pepperoni.
No.
Something nobody said ever.
If you've ever had bland pepperoni, you've just found out that you have old pepperoni. I've done that before. I went to eat one. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of what is that?
What
This
is it?
plain
Tell me
tasting.
what it means when you say bland. It just loses its flavor or something? Or?
Yeah, it just loses its flavor. It's weird. It's just like what is this? It's like a wax meat. It's weird.
Wax meat. Yeah, because it's
And then
kind of oily,
I looked at the
right?
expiration date and I'm like, oh yeah, that needs to go in the trash.
Yeah, don't eat that. That's a bad idea. I had some chicken, some very suspect chicken yesterday. And It didn't give me any trouble.
Oh.
Everything's fine. But I know I was playing with fire a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
you do this. How long was it in the fridge?
probably 2 weeks.
Oh
Scott!
my goodness.
I know.
2 weeks.
I know. I ate it and it tasted a little plasticky and a little like,
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
that's
little bland. Yeah,
yeah. And
that's what happens to meat.
I didn't eat it all, threw it the rest of the way, but I ate enough of it where if it was going to be a problem, like food poison wise, it would have kicked in by now. So I'm good. I'm in the
Right.
clear.
Wow.
That is real dumb.
I-
Anyway,
Scott, you do know, right, that like old rice can kill you?
I hadn't heard that.
Oh, I
How's that
didn't know
work?
that.
Yeah. How's that work?
Yeah. So there's a specific toxin that can grow on like your leftover rice that you put, even if you put it in the fridge. Like if there's people who die.
Uncooked or cooked rice? Like uncooked rice?
Cooked rice.
Cooked rice. Okay.
So let's see.
Yeah, cooked pasta too, but
This
people
is,
die from the rice.
This
for some
apparently was a big deal on TikTok called fried rice syndrome. Let's see. What is it? Case of the Brussels student. The illness was food poisoning caused by the Bacillus cereus bacterium, which grows on
Yahoo
rice. If you let rice sit out.
Yahoo Serious?
Yeah, you're right. This is bad for you. Well,
Don't do it.
I kind of don't eat rice
You
in general.
can't eat rice.
We should just all go to Subway and eat fresh.
Yeah,
Stop doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's not go there. It never feels fresh
No.
to me.
Go to Jersey Mike's.
Go somewhere good like that.
And
Pop
if
Bellies.
Jersey
anywhere.
Mike's just wasn't a Pepsi shop. Oh,
You need your Coke,
get
do
you
you?
with the Pepsi. Oh,
I don't mind the
so
Pepsi.
frustrating when the
Pepsi's
food
not
is my
okay.
favorite, but they don't have Coke products.
I don't
Yeah,
mind
nothing worse. Nothing worse.
You
When you're a
could go
Coke
to
person.
another. You could get your sub and then go 2 doors down and get a Coke somewhere else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know the closest convenience store to the Jersey Mike's as well.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, I want to go now.
I think I'm going to go get a
What's
Jersey
wrong
Mike's
with
after
Pepsi?
this.
Yeah, I might do it today. Pepsi's fine. I'm fine with Pepsi. I don't care. Does Pepsi, when people say, is Pepsi okay? I'm like, yeah, it's totally cool. It's fine. Let's do it.
I love how they always like get the apology face on. Oh, is Pepsi okay?
Yeah.
Is that going to work?
Is that going to be okay?
Because you know they've been burnt before by Randy.
Yeah,
who went, what? What?
I can't. I'm never coming here
My money
again.
back. Good day, sir.
I said,
Hey.
but maybe I could go buy you a Coke. I said good day.
I so wildly overvalue a restaurant with a Coca-Cola freestyle machine. It's like
Oh, I love those.
like
Yeah,
Wingstop. Wingstop has a Coca-Cola freestyle machine, and I'm willing to spend so much more money there to have access to that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I don't want to besmirch the good name of Coke, but I'll do a Pepsi now and again. It's fine. I don't mind.
Whatever. It's
Pepsi
fine.
1, Coke 0, whatever you've got, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's liquid down
Is
the
it
hall.
bubbly,
No-
bubbly
but no
sugar
diet
water?
shit.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Nothing with the word diet in its name.
I'm just gonna pee you out later.
0.
Yeah, 0, always 0.
Yeah, 0.
Zero's okay.
That's gonna.
Pee you out later.
Pepto Bismol 0 the other day at the store was great.
Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. Why? Don't
Tastes
forget
bad, but no calories.
Exactly.
Calories.
Don't forget to go where to our Patreon is. All right.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/filmsack. That's patreon.com/filmsack.
Go to Patreon.
Go to Patreon. That is going to do it for the show. Real quick, our next movie is Black Hat.
Black
Right.
Cat.
So this is a 2015,
So not Blue Steel.
2015 Michael Mann movie that we realized we had never seen. Like none of us have seen it.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Oh, none of us. Good. This is brand new to all of us.
Yeah, I like those.
That's right. Viola Davis, Hemsworth. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's a Netflix deal or no?
All right,
Okay,
cool. Yeah,
cool.
man. All right. Yeah, cool.
All right.
All
I'm in.
right.
Okay. Cool.
I don't remember this
Count
at
me
all,
in.
but it's got Holt McCallany in it. It's got your
Oh, I think that's right. Yeah.
John Ortiz.
Good deal.
Yeah,
You guys watch
I'm
what
in.
you want to watch. I'm watching Shakedown and talking about it next week. Whatever.
Please
All
do.
right. You do that.
Do what you do.
Let us know how
Let
that
us
goes.
know where
for
you find it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So you can buy it. You just can't stream it.
Oh, well then F you.
And I could have swore I saw it not that long ago on when I was doing one of my little, they got the movie channel on the Roku TV. I was watching Blue Steel this past. I could have swore I watched not that long ago Shakedown as well.
He would.
Sure.
He had.
Remember Jamie Lee Curtis in Blue Steel?
No,
I remember it.
no.
I remember it existed,
Yeah,
but I don't know if I ever saw it.
That's not the one with Travolta where they shake their crotches a lot, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, perfect. Please, can we never watch Perfect? I don't know if I can do it. Let's just not do Perfect.
I don't want to watch them shaking their crotches at each other.
I realized the Black Hat was a bit of a bummer for him. Well, whatever. He went on to do Ford v Ferrari, and that was a big hit. I don't know. He's fine. I like Michael Mann. He's making Heat too. I don't know if you guys know about that, but he's making
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Making a Heat follow up. I'm very excited.
New Heat.
New Heat.
Double Heat.
New Heat. Who dis? All right, that's it. Filmsack.com is the website. Patreon.com/filmsack is the place to support your favorite Film Sack show, the one called Film Sack. So do it.
We are the best film sack show ever.
We really are. Also, you can
On the Film
find
Sack Network.
You can also leave us reviews when you get your podcast reviews out and stuff. Those are always good for us. So please do that. That will do it for today. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
Piss swarm.
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
All I got is piss warm chango.
That's my brand.
That's my burn.
Like he gives a wink with that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.